Well, it's Thursday, and you all know what that means. So, as you know, Ring of Honor are doing another Global Wars event, but this time they're collaborating with Metroplex Wrestling, which is a promotion run by Athena herself, who is our current ROH Women's World Champion. Now, keep in mind, we have proving ground matches taking place as well, but also the Metroplex Wrestling titles will also be on the line in a Ring of Honor ring, and it's going to be a lot of fun to review. And then we move on with our final review with TNA. As you know, we're coming off after Feast and Fire. Some wrestlers are already aiming for what they want to do. Who's going to be proceeding for the TNA World title, the tag titles, the women knockouts uh, title, the knockouts tag team titles, whatever they're going to decide, and grudges continue to spread upon. So it's going to be, of course, a mayhem of a time in TNA. And as always, we'll wrap up our episode as usual with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK. Anywhere pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information is unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got Yunaki Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us and click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough with the jibber jabbers. Let's get to it. So, let's begin, of course, with the collaboration of Global Wars between Ring of Honor and Metroplex Wrestling. ROH and Metroplex Wrestling Global Wars. Now, this was something that was announced a couple of weeks ago between Tony Khan and Athena, that this is going to be a collaboration between two different companies. Now, keep in mind, Metroplex is not a big company like Ring of Honor. It's mostly an independent promotion based out of Texas. Now, of course, I did mention we are going to expect some titles from their promotions to be on the line in a Ring of Honor ring. But enough of that, let's get started. Now, our first match, we have an 8-person tag match. We have, of course, some of the guys from Metroplex, Reza Clark, LVJ, Kerry J. Wright, and Demo Diamond. They take on Shane Taylor Promotions, Trish Adora, The Infantry, and Shane Taylor. Now, of course, we all know this is going to be one of those matches where the Shane Taylor Promotions will pick up the win one way or the other. That's exactly what they were going to do. But in fact, you would have assumed that the opposing team would have won, but no. It was, of course, Trish Adora that put away, of course, Kari with a lariat, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was done. Now, we did see, of course, a proving ground match for the ROH Women's World Television title. We have Bert Vixen, of course, taking on um, Red Velvet. Now, what's interesting for those who may saw recently, not too long ago, Red Velvet, of course, challenged for in a proving ground match for the ROH Women's World Title, and now it's the World Television Title. And I thought it was a pretty good match. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, people are often been talking about saying sign for Vixen, and personally, I would like to see that because I met her once already in person, and she's a fan, and she's amazing, and she's a total sweetheart, and I think she deserves it. But fortunately, she did not pick up the win because Red Velvet took her straight out of her mama's kitchen, and just like that, uno, dos, tres, adios. Now, Christopher Daniels was somehow having a pep talk with, of course, Dante and Darius Martin, aka Top Flight, talking about, of course, the formation of Scott Flight, but also they have one thing that they are, of course, going to focus on, which is the ROH World Tag Team titles. Now, remember, those titles are currently in the possession of La Facción Ingobernable, LFI, between Sammy and Beast Mortos. And they felt like these titles have not been defended or prestige enough properly, so now they want to aim. So we'll see where that goes. I wouldn't be surprised if others were definitely trying to aim for that too. Now, our next match we have, of course, Big Bill and Brian Keith taking on Surf and Turf. Now, one of the guys is like a surfing dudes kind of thing. There's a guy that came out dressed up in a shark outfit, but he did kept the hat that has a shark in it, calling himself Phil Shark. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. But however, you probably would have assumed this would be done by Big Bill and Brian Keith. Excuse me. You're definitely right. In fact, it was Big Bill that picked up the win onto Phil Shark, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was done. Now our next match is for the Metroplex Women's Championship. Ray Lynn takes on someone we all know, Abaddon, who we haven't seen for quite some time. We know she was released about a year or two ago, but it's great to see her. I mean, she is a very interesting wrestler to enjoy. But of course, Abaddon picked up the win when she applied a flatliner onto her, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, she retained the title. Now our next match, we have a ROH pure title proving ground match. We have, of course, Exodus Prime taking on Lee Moriarty. So basically, it's a really interesting match. I have seen Exodus Prime before because he appeared in Wrestling Revolver when they did Texas shows like what was a while back. But he is one of those wrestlers we definitely can get behind. But unfortunately, this match ended with Lee Moriarty applying like a somewhat butterfly whatever maneuver, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Now, that weasel, Mark Sterling, decided to have a little chat with, of course, with Swirl, Lee Johnson, and Blake Christian about, of course, their problem are to the luchadors. Now they're treating the luchadors, they're some sort of a problem that needs to be eradicated. So they agreed with it, and of course that's exactly what they want, because Mark Sterling knows that Blake Christian has a problem with Bandito, who in fact, as you know, walked away plenty of times as the ROH World Champion, and he feels that he should not have, that title should have been already with Blake Christian. So they're trying to set up like some sort of an alliance. But you can tell by Nice and Arya Daivari, they're not too keen on the idea of working with them. It's like you spoke on behalf of them, but not in fact, of course, giving them like what a say in it. So that's exactly what was going on. Now, we do have the Metroplex Championship on the line. We have Devlin Carvin, who is the champion, taking on someone we have seen a few times, JD Griffey, who in fact is a former UFC fighter, from my understanding. But man, this guy really took a beat. It took him out completely. He applied like a shoulder breaker onto him. I never saw that. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, brand new champion. Now our next match is a 6-woman tag team champion. It's Athena and her minions, Diamante and Billy Starks, taking on Hyan and Maya World with a partner of their choosing, and the partner they chose is the current and newly crowned inaugural Ring of Honor Women's Pure Champion, and that is Deonna Purrazzo. So I thought the match was great. Now, some of us have seen Athena and her minions, how they operate. They try to find ways to cheat their way through to ensure they win. However, once again, Billy Stark screwed up when, of course, she Maya World put her in a bridge, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it's over. So just like that, completely. And I wouldn't be surprised, of course, if Athena gives her a little tough love attitude next week when we see it. But we'll just have to wait and see, because I'm sure Athena doesn't tolerate losses one way or another. So we'll see what happens. But as of right now, we're done with this one. Let's move on with our last and final review, TNA. Alright, TNA, as we come off a week after the Feast and Fire and plenty other things. But as you know, we are now beginning for No Surrender real soon. So that will be coming up in a bit. Now, we opened up with Trey Miguel taking on Adam Brooks, a guy based out of Australia, making his debut here. Now, of course, many people know that Trey Miguel has the briefcase to cash in an opportunity for the TNA International Championship, which is good. However, of course, he has to build up the momentum to be prepared for that match, and that's exactly what he did when he applied the lightning spiral onto Brooks, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. However, Trey Miguel's celebration was cut short with the sneak attack from, of course, that piece of garbage Stacks, because of course it's no secret that he would know who has the briefcase to what championship. No surprises there. And of course, Ariana Grace is trying to turn a new leaf, but things are going crazy from here. Now, Gia Miller conducts an interview with the Angel Warriors, Zaya Brookside, and her current Knockouts World Champion, Li Yingling, along with, of course, Indy Hartwell. As you know, these ladies have been dealing with the Elegant brands out of all of a sudden, and that sort of thing. So, of course, it's no secret that Yingling Li knows that her title is now being in sights of Ash by Elegance, who, as you all know, not too long ago, 4 months ago, she had to relinquish the belt due to health problems, and now she's back in the ring. So we'll see how that rolls up from there. Now, the Righteous, as you know, with their usual cryptic ways, they are in action to take on Tommy Two Scoops and TW3. Now, nothing too special about this, but of course, this match was going to go to the Righteous, and they come up with a new combination move called the Orange Sunshine, and they did that onto TW3, and Dutch was the one who picked up the victory. 1, 2, 3, over. However, they once again put out another message to the Hardys. As you know, they don't want to fight against them. They thought we should fight together. And of course, the Hardys, while they saw this whole thing, were even questioning, what is this whole thing with their cryptic ways and that sort of thing. However, while they were trying to figure out the Righteous, their ways, they were approached by the system, because it seems now that they're aiming for the tag belts, and that's something they want. And then, of course, they attacked them out of nowhere, and just like that, it was over. Now, we did see a bit of a situation in the back. Daria Ray, who is now has some executive order position in TNA, shook hands with Frankie Kazarian. Now, it's still unclear what it was about, but Frankie Kazarian makes his way to the ring, talking about, of course, that he feels that the TNA World title's in the wrong position with, of course, Mike Santana, but he will stake a claim for it once again, but he's not going to do it right away, so he's going to bide his time when it happens. So we'll see where that goes from there. Now, we did see our next match, a mixed tag match, Elijah and Jada Stones taking on the Order of Force, Tasha Steelz, and Mustafa Ali. Now, of course, recently last week, Jada Stone was doing a bit of a video promo until she was rudely interrupted by Order 4. But now it seems Order 4 doesn't care, because they're in their big diapers crying about certain things that they don't like, especially when it comes to Elijah. But Elijah stepped up for her, saying, you need to walk with Elijah, because he's telling him, look, these guys are going to step all over you, and you cannot be a doormat. And that's exactly what she did. And I thought the match was fantastic. Jada Stone really gave a beating onto Mustafa Ali. Of course, we did see the dumb hands and Zero get involved and all that. But, of course, Mustafa, uh, with his despicable ways, applied a spike power driver onto Jada Stone. And just like that, Tasha picked up the win. 1, 2, 3. It was over. But, however, I'm sure Elijah still has unfinished business towards Mustafa. Now, Santino was just in the back until he was approached by his own daughter, Ariana. What's been going on to him? And, of course, Ariana was not feeling herself anymore, but she asked him if she can put her in a TNA Knockouts title match. And, of course, Santino said, why not? So he did it anyway. Now, of course, after that, we did see Daria Ray addresses the fan base for No Surrender. They did announce that the International Championship will be defended. Stax will defend the title against Trey Miguel. We did see the Hardy and the Righteous will team up to take on the Order of 4. Then we got, of course, Slater and Santana teaming up to take on Nick Meneth and Eddie Edwards. And then, of course, Santino told her, of course, that he put his daughter in a match against the Knockouts World Champion. But, of course, Rhea thinking that he's playing favoritism, but this was something that he wanted to give her. And then, of course, she saw Steve Macklin, but Santino, look, he just needs to say goodbye to his friends. Of course, Rhea is really stupid, not realizing he's gone. So what? He needs to say goodbye to everyone. And, of course, Macklin was right there, and then Santana, of course, was trying to tell him a few things until, of course, Macklin just beat the brutally crap out of him out of nowhere and that sort of thing. So it went out of control. Now, our next match, we have Tessa Blanchard taking on Rachel Leigh. Well, obviously, this match was going to go with Tessa Blanchard. She applied the blood saw onto her, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Now, we did see a bit of a segment going around between both Mara Sade and Ryan Bennett. Well, Mara Sade seems like she's been beating him in everything, in football, basketball, whatever they can do it. You can tell that Nick Bennett thinks that he is tough as a man, and a woman like her cannot step up in the man's world. So that kind of thing. I don't know exactly what the idea was about anyway, but yes. Now, Eric Young, as you know, decided to approach the newly signed BDE to join his cause. But of course, BDE has no intentions of that. But Eric Young was not going to take no for an answer, because of course, Eric Young is trying to cleanse TNA to eradicate what is the problem. So that's exactly what he's aiming for. But I don't know what BDE has to think about this. Only time will tell. Now, our main event features, of course, the Elegance brands Heather, M, and Ash teaming up once again, and they're being accompanied by Mr. Elegance and that Chihuahua, of course. They take on Indy Hartwell and the Angel Warriors. Now, of course, we were going to see interference coming from the Chihuahua and Mr. Elegance. But what made it sweet, well, stupid-ass Chihuahua accidentally glitter bombed Mr. Elegance, but it was Zaya Brookside that applied a bridge onto Heather, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. But however, of course, the old saying goes, a loser cannot stand a winner, and that's exactly what the Elegance brand did. They're trying to prove that they're not going to tolerate losses like this. So we'll see what happens. But however, the show ended with Mike Santana, of course, talking about Macklin and all this other stuff. But however, the system, as you know, well, Eddie Edwards, for those who may still remember, he has a stake into the TNA World title. He can cash it in whenever he wants. And then, of course, they started beating up to him. And then we see the Hardys showing up as well after they were being attacked by them. And then finally, Moose, after being kicked out of the system, well, let's just say, payback is a biatch. So that's how things ended, of course, in TNA. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen. But for right now, we're done with our reviews. Let's move on to news updates. Okay, Welcome to our news update. So let's begin, of course, as always, with, of course, upcoming events. Majority of it we have is GCW, so buckle up on that. Now, as you know, on Valentine's Day, February 14th, they'll be in LA for the coldest winter, and they just announced there's going to be a six-man tag team match taking place. Gringo Loco, Vengador, and Ray Horace, and they take on, of course, Alec Price, Jordan Oliver, and Starboy Charlie. And then the following day, as you know, they'll be in Phoenix, Arizona for Holy Smokes. They just announced El Phantasmo will take on Alec Price. And then, of course, later on in the month, on the 27th of February, in Rochester, New York, Alec Price and Jordan Oliver will meet up to take on the members of Vandal 48, which consistent of Atticus Cogar and I forgot the other guy, Napier, somewhere around there. But yes, that's pretty much it. But they did announce a brand new show for, of course, in Wildford, New Jersey. That'll take place in June 18th. So that's pretty much it for GCW updates. But I did mention not too long ago, it seems there's going to be a collaboration with Italian-based promotion SAJ Wrestling, and I mentioned that Miyu Yamashita will be participating in their upcoming show in April. However, more names are not from Tokyo Pro Wrestling have been announced for that. This time is Hyper Misawa, so I'm surprised about that, but it's great to hear about it. Now, we only have one development. This one was reported by Fightful Selects. It appears now TNA parent company Anthem are in fact filed a lawsuit against Gail Kim. I'm like, what the hell is this about? I'm like, now remember, she was let go last year. People were like, what the hell is going on here? I mean, we know she has been a very good key figure in TNA, producing shows and all that, which was really surprising. I mean, we know that her loyalty to the TNA where it stands, but however, this is what exactly Fightful Select reports. Let me pull it out. This is what they said. Anthem Wrestling Exhibitions filed lawsuit related to a disagreement over a consensual status after her departure. Anthem is seeking legal declaration that Kim was an independent contractor, not an employee. So that's exactly what's happened. Now, if there's more information regarding about this, I'll let you guys know. But as of right now, let's call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do, but we'll see how that rolls up. But however, at the last minute, I just found out something very interesting that I'm going to put on a separate news update for all of you guys. Let's see how that rolls. But as of right now, we'll see what happens. But until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang.